Hey, Salty. What's the count now? 1-3-3, something like that. 1-2-2, something like that now. Well, I sure shit can't count this as a win. I mean, it should piss them off. It would piss them off because this would piss them off. You know, you killed, a bunch of them. They've lost brothers over there and sisters over there, and 20 years on taxes for what it does. I give you. We don't need a war. We have wars on the front. We have wars in Chicago. Take a couple of them fucking Marines and put them in Chicago.
By the end of this year, the transition will be
put them in Portland.
And Afghans will take
have them training over there. Well, I mean, at the end of it,
will be over.
What are we going to say? We'll stay for another 21 years.
It's one thing to say, hey, we're
the whole thing is ridiculous. We're bringing troops
we're doing in Portland.
Afghanistan. Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No.
So what's next? They're gonna give it to MS-13 in America?
The Taliban is taking control.
Let's do the costs on this.
Currently,
why didn't we just take over? Because it's not the progressive, new, humane way to do things.
Contested areas, but Kandahar, the second largest city, has fallen. Herat.
You gotta take over. Obviously, over 20 years, they didn't. We left, we come back, they fell. Take over that government, damn it.
Of Afghanistan. 4 different presidents, almost 20
Don't
years.
let them lead by that standard.
Now, this is how this is coming to an end in Afghanistan. Let's bring in our panel. Ben Domenech, publisher of The Federalist.
You're gonna ship because you can't play around with a fucking machine gun or go blow up stuff with a fucking jet.
Mark, you wrote some speeches.
You don't need those goddamn toys like that. Especially if you fucked it.
And throughout,
it should.
Talking to General Keane and others, it's tough to watch.
I mean, because at what point in time in here would I throw this motherfucker, this, or her, or anybody else inside of that goddamn mixing bowl on Paris Island, make me ask you the damn question? What happens next?
But if you want to understand just how pathetic this administration's Afghan policy is, here's a story. Here's the lead of a story that's on the New York Times website right now.
I suggest you do throw his ass under the bus.
American negotiators are trying to extract assurances from the Taliban that they will not attack the U.S. embassy in Kabul if the extremist group takes over the country's government and ever wants to receive U.S. foreign aid. The Biden administration is dangling U.S. foreign aid to the people who aided and abetted the attacks of September 11, 2001.
Well, you think with this kind of debt, it's going to keep going like that?
Embassy. That is probably in my entire career in Washington is the most pathetic thing
That's why you need to take over. Have more taxes.
I've ever seen when it comes to U.S. foreign policy.
Well, to that point, the messaging
That's your bullet.
Changed dramatically over 24 hours. I had Admiral John Kirby, a Pentagon spokesperson, on last night, and he was saying that part of the
1, 2, and 2.
I
mean, it was one thing when you were 1-1 and 1.
That they risk,
right? That was nice. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. I'll give you what is it there? He took it out.
The Taliban continues to try to advance
that one you
in
got.
the country through brutality, through oppression, through fear. Those kinds of tactics are not going to lead to the level of legitimacy that they say they want from the international community.
But
that's why we continue to.
Admiral. I mean,
it pisses me off because I'd happily join. You still want to draft? I'll fucking join.
That's going to be the threat that makes them stop beheading or executing people.
I would love for one of you dumbasses to be like, yeah, we'll smoke you down. You see why? You see why you can't win? You have teammates that want to be on your play, and you'd want to kick their you want to. So what's your stance here? How do you want to play?
It's a danger in and of itself. They're going in to get Americans out safely, but this is a tragedy from top to bottom. Every way you look at this. I mean, we were in Afghanistan.
Look, the answer is real simple. I'll use your manual. I'll take AR-15 over there for a walk, 45s. You know the answer. It's not super difficult.
We haven't had any attacks from there. But after 20 years of pouring resources and training,
look, we have freedom, no problem. There's a long game problem with raping women, cutting people's heads off,
to defend their own territory. You've had
stealing little girls.
Administrations. You just played all those sound bites.
Has long game problems.
2 American presidents wanted out. 2 American administrations decided that having American troops in Afghanistan was not in the national security interest of the United States, and the American people.
It's like, so we did that. We went over there to fix those things.
They don't want American troops there. They also don't understand what we're doing there.
Yeah. Just
Is this real? Is that their own damn military force against what they thought wasn't right, or is it a militant force?
Had a call with the Afghan
It's gonna be on the roster of the numbers, the calculus of how many people get killed. I mean, the security force is on the standard. We got a couple of stories from Tucker there talking about father leaving Afghanistan, didn't have visas for their kids or paperwork when he got caught by some unit. It's not just, it's a unit thing. It's some assholes over there that think they have control and power, and then all of a sudden, it's the modified Stanford experiment. Let's look at Chicago and the police department. Let's talk about on here, undercover officer that's a black guy gets the shit kicked out of him at a Black Lives protest for documenting that thing. And the white guy didn't. I know it doesn't seem like these things are relative, but they are. Because, yeah, obviously, I'm not talking to the Marines on this one. Talk to the police on that one.
In so many different respects and across multiple
any area where they stand.
Administrations.
Well, let's face it, Marines tend to be a little fucking amped up. Just soldiers that are any unit inside of there. Doesn't necessarily be Marines. I'll be fair with you on that. Of course, F-22 driver's going to want to bust out the burp.
What we ought to be asking is, if this
what is it, A-10 Warhog?
How could it have been argued better? How could it have been managed better? And
how do you do it? Yeah, you do it with the 300 IQ test. On the skid steer, trolley car, and F-22, fucking company and stone mill.
I'm going to read a little something from the Independence Fund, and that is, this is really painful for a lot
bills,
of people
policies, where you know that they do it. It's like anything comes up missing in here, some gunnery sergeant's going to roast you. So grab that E-tool and a couple of canteens and meet me behind the church there, buddy.
With veterans who are really struggling with this
it should. And remember, I'm not trying this to be a total dick here to you, but I'm going to be a total dick to you because I need to be a total dick to you here.
Hotline on the bottom of the screen if you want to talk to somebody through this. Mark, last word quickly.
Yeah, so
why don't you make more PSDD problems? Why don't you make more assholes that want to get out there and run down the Senate?
Caliphate the size of Great Britain,
and just in the president's here. Now, those units do just fine. You know, obviously, when it comes to military standards, you don't make money unless you take something over, steal their gold or something. Companies make money. Guess who else has got companies?
Because Americans don't realize we don't need to defeat you militarily. We only need to fight long enough for you to lose by defeating yourself by quitting.
Well, that didn't sound like it worked.
Sad day for that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to
20 years taxes, guys.
And catch our
20 years of money we could have put on the infrastructure. We could have put on energy. We could have put on policing in our own system, where most of you go to become cops anyways.